Is it finally happening? Is the attention on Zebec network turning into positive performance? Because everything else is down today, Zebec is up. Let's have a look at the on-chain metrics. Let's try to figure out what's happening here, who's buying, who's selling. Yes, the last week wasn't that great for Zebec. We are still down, but that's after a phenomenal run up. So are we going to see new all-time highs? This is not the first video on Zebec on this channel. I've already published 4 of them, and they tend to get quite a bit of attention. They tend to get clicked more than the average video on this channel. In other words, even though the market cap isn't really high, there are a lot of people researching Zebec. It's a token on the Solana chain, yet it's not part of the trending tokens when we order by the liquidity pool size. So nowadays, not a lot of trading happens on the chain directly. It tends to be happening now also with centralized exchanges. There's quite a bit of potential upside. So this is a list of real world asset tokens. With a 2x, we would go above Maple Finance. With a 3x, we'd get close to XDC. A 4 to 5x brings us into the OG coins of Quant and Algorand and potentially Injective. Are we going to see 0.4 cents per Zebec? So a 10x? Probably not, because then we'd have to flip Ondo Finance, which is one of the largest players in the space. Of course, if we don't take the real world asset space, but the decentralized finance space as a measuring stick, there is way more upside potential. But that then assumes that real world assets becomes a much larger fraction of crypto. Who knows if that's going to happen? Now, most trading happens on the spot market, not on the perpetual futures market, but still on the centralized exchanges. So we had 21 million worth of trading volume on Gate.io, and the biggest player in the decentralized space is Meteora with only 1/10 of that trading volume. Yes, there are perpetual futures, and that's led by Bybit, but the trading volume is not larger than spot, which is unusual because the active trader tends to execute their positions on the perpetual futures because it's cheaper. The slippage tends to be lower. At least for short-term trades, perps are cheaper than spot. So this could give us a hint that whoever is buying Zebec right now wants to do this for the long term, not just short-term to flip with leverage. Now, on the Solana chain, the number of first-time traders tended to rather decline in the last 2 weeks. We had a peak at the end of May, but since then, the number of first-time traders doesn't go up anymore. The end of May, by the way, is over here. So this shows us again that when new people enter a token, when the investor base is growing, that's per tendency a positive thing for the price development. We don't see that growth anymore. We might have stabilized now. We can ignore the latest data point because today has just started. The trading volume has also peaked. It tends to now decline. So this is now measured in US dollars, and this is only on the Solana chain. We don't know the trading volume on the centralized exchanges. It's not published here on Dune Analytics. But you can see from this chart that we're looking at a segregation of that trading volume. So we've got small retail, medium-sized retail, large retail that make up different fractions of that trading volume. So we're checking how much of Zebec is owned in each of those wallets. Small retail is below $1,000, medium-sized retail is up to $10,000, large retail is up to $100,000 worth of the token. If we now normalize that trading volume to 100% every day, so we don't look at the US dollar amount, we just look at the fraction and at the split up across those different segments, we see that recently the small retail investor tended to trade the token less and less, and that the larger wallets tended to take over more and more of the trading volume. Now, in general, that's a positive development because the smart money tends to also have more money in crypto, right? The more you trade crypto and the more skilled you are, the more the capital concentrates towards you. Because crypto is both a game of luck and skill. And as we trade more and more, the luck component goes down, the skill component goes up. And so the big wallets tend to also have more skill. When the big wallets are buying, that's good. The skilled people are buying. Now let's have a look at the number of unique holders. Over here are the whales. So wallets with at least $100,000 worth of the token. This actually went down in the last 12 days. We've got large retail. It also tended to trend down. We've got medium-sized retail, which stabilized somewhat. And then we've got small retail, which continues to accumulate. So even though the larger wallets make up more of the trading volume, they aren't necessarily all buying. It seems like the number of those large wallets is rather declining, and the whales are dumping on retail. Retail continues to buy in, the attention stays high, but the reason for the price decline here is the big people exiting. And the big question now is, will the whales continue to sell that quickly, or will they potentially stop? Because if they stop, small retail can take over the price discovery again and push the price higher. So this is really in the hands of a few people with a lot of that token. The big insiders dictate where this is now going. In general though, there is positive tailwind because again, retail always buys and tends to not really sell. Now, some people might make the argument that all of this analysis doesn't help at all because markets are efficient. But I tend to disagree because it's people that make markets efficient. There are clearly winners and losers in the game, and the winners tend to continue to win. So it's not just a game of luck, it's a game of luck and skill. And the nice thing about crypto is that we've got much more data in this market compared to other markets because every transaction is publicly recorded on the blockchain. But very few people actually use that data properly. And that's in the end where winners and losers are born. People that don't look into the details enough, they tend to lose over time. That's the vast majority. Now, the charts that you've seen in this video come from a tool that I've developed myself on top of the Dune Analytics platform. It's part of the premium membership of this channel. There are two dashboards. There's a dashboard for Ethereum related blockchains. So those are the ones we can analyze. We can plug in any token into this tool and then we can see how many large holders are there, how many small holders are there, how many new users enter a token, and how many buyers and sellers do we have over time. It's also always useful to look at the token ownership, right? Is a token mainly held just by the whales, by the people that have more than $100,000 worth of the token? If that's true, it's potentially, especially if that happened forever, a quite dangerous token. And so this is how I think about this fundamentally. The target with trading and with investing is to be better informed than the average, to be the person that makes the market efficient. If we are better skilled than the average person, then we should over time also make positive expected value bets. That means that not every single trade will be positive, but on average, we should make money. Again, because we can estimate the probabilities better. We can see the dangers and the potential upsides better. Now, I have made more than 100 tutorial videos on various topics within crypto. How to do on-chain analytics, how to build a Dune dashboard like we've just seen. But of course, you also get access to the dashboard itself. Also about risk management, about how to properly use leverage, if that's your thing. All kinds of videos. Feel free to check them out. The newest video is this one, how to use perpetual futures and how to use the Hyperliquid platform to beat others. The videos are posted on the website, but they're also posted directly in Telegram. And here's the feedback to that tutorial. Feel free to stop the video and read through this yourself. But of course, we also need to start somewhere. And so I'm personally, of course, sharing my own trades as well as I open them. Of course, I can't share the newest trades here on YouTube, but have a look at this. This is on March 3rd. I'm adding another short, Cardano, relative to the US dollar. And the explainer was in a premium update video. So I publish premium update videos every 3 to 4 days. I then added more exposure on the 11th of March and I then closed it on the 7th of April. So of course, not every trade works out that well, but Cardano went down relative to Bitcoin by 36% during that time. And so with this membership, I want to do both. Of course, I want to make it profitable very quickly. That's why I share my trades, but I also want that the vast majority, at least of the members, takes the time to learn as much as possible. That in the end, you might not even need the membership anymore. You can make your own profitable trades. Now have a look at this. This is where our members share their winning trades. If you use the right leverage, if you know how to do proper risk management as well, you can make hundreds of % in a single trade. It's all about being prepared and knowing the data better than most other market participants. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 US per month. The price has been reduced because currently the attention on crypto is still relatively low. Once Bitcoin hits new all-time highs again, then I might go back to the 165. But the 125 is locked in for everybody that signs up now. So when the price increases, when you're still subscribed, your price will not increase. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in Premium. There's also a link to Premium directly here on the right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. So see you next time. Cheers.